Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Thursday, January 8th, 2015. During the show, we discuss recent Nintendo news as well as this week's new releases and more. I'm your host, Alexander Kalafi, and joining me is site director Neal
Hi.
and connectivity podcast editor Scott Thompson.
Hello, hello, hello! We've got news.
We have so much news this week. We have real-ass news. We're not going to be leading with a feature segment this week. We're going to start with news, we're going to have news in the middle, and we're going to close with news. And I'm so happy because this show is called Nintendo News Report.
It's going to be very newsy for all you news hounds out there.
Yeah, I'd like to offer a little pro tip to anybody out there wanting to start their own news show on YouTube. Don't do it like the start of December because you're gonna do 2 great episodes, and the 2 episodes you're like, well, what the fuck do we do now? Because nothing's going on. So
there's Amiibo support Kirby, guys. That's it. There's nothing.
But we do have a good top story this week. Our top story this week is the Nintendo 3DS Ambassador Bundle. And Nintendo Europe basically reported, or they didn't report it, they're the ones doing it, that there's a special Club Nintendo edition of the new 3DS that's coming to certain Club Nintendo members in Europe before the actual official launch. Which means that apparently they have some number of these ready to go and they're just waiting for the right date.
Well, dude, people already got them.
Right. It already came out in Australia, and people have already gotten their bundle, I think,
they've already got
Nintendo.
Bundles.
Right. And they didn't say what the details were specifically about how you can get a hold of one of these bundles, but it sounds like they prioritize the people, or at least this is based on a pool of people who were originally 3DS ambassadors when that came out in 2011. It sounds like that was at least one qualifier they used, but they went all hush-hush about what the qualifications were otherwise. But anyways, if you're chosen via email to get this new 3DS bundle, it costs €179.99, and it comes with the new 3DS, an Ambassador Edition, like a special plate for the new 3DS. It comes with a Smash Bros. Plate. It comes with a special stylus, maybe? Or it might just be the regular new 3DS stylus.
Yeah, I know that the Smash Brothers plate is one that's already out in Japan, but the one that it comes with, that I think it says in like kanji, it says Nintendo. That is exclusive to this.
And then there's a 4GB micro SD card. And I just remembered that they actually are doing micro SD for this thing, which is super interesting.
You know what's going to be a pain in the ass? Switching all of your stuff from the old 3DS to the new one, because you have to change the save format.
Do you really have to do that just because you're changing the SD cards?
I mean, like I don't know. I actually do not know how that works, but I mean, it won't be as easy as transferring like the old 3DS to another old 3DS.
Right, you just swap
with that. It's just like you're transferring the licenses, and then you take out the SD card and put it in the other system. For this one, you're gonna have to like change. I don't know how it works.
Well, the thing's out, so someone should have. Yeah.
Don, are you out?
We made a guide for this or something.
Don!
Yeah, Don, make a video and post it on Nintendo World Report. I give you a half hour. Go.
Have it done by the end of the show.
There's going to be the 4GB SDHC, set of AR cards, quick start guide, operations manual, all that stuff.
No AC adapter, because Europe hates AC adapter.
There is an AC adapter, I thought, for the special version.
The Ambassador, what I've heard, I've seen people on GAF who have gotten it, and it does not come with an AC adapter.
It just comes with the cradle?
Yeah. I mean, that's what all the XLs in, I think, Europe and Japan, none of them came with AC adapters.
Which is really bizarre.
Yeah. I guess the assumption is that everybody already bought them. I don't know.
Yeah, this is super interesting. Just because of how out of nowhere it was, and then how fast the system was ready to be shipped to people.
Yeah, like people literally got it the next day.
Yeah.
Right, that's crazy to me. Nintendo doesn't do that stuff like this drastic, or this unexpected this often, except for the last time that there was an actual ambassador thing for 3DS owners.
But even that, if I recall, we didn't get the free games. I mean, we got the GBA ones way down the line. But I think even with the NES games, that was like a good month.
Yep, and it was like that was like mid to late summer, and
Yeah,
then
I remember like
mid-December.
going to get Wi-Fi during the middle of the day at work so I could download all these NES games.
Oh yeah,
And then
yeah.
like I was playing Donkey Kong Jr. and I was like, why do I even care?
It's one thing that this reminds me of is the fact that the new 3DS is actually probably going to be very reasonably priced. I'm guessing that if it's $179.99 for this special edition bundle, it'll probably come out in the U.S. at 180 or maybe even 160 since it's 16,000 yen in Japan.
Yeah, I mean,
That's actually that's a good price.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I would imagine. I think the new 3DS XL might be coming out at 200, but I would think that the lesser version might be like 180. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Right, and it's been like at least a year and a half, maybe even 2 years since the XL came out. That was 2012.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's been 2.5 years.
So that actually makes sense that it would that this new version, even though it's way better, it would actually end up being less price than the original models. I'm excited. I'm like this new 3DS hype and this general hype for all this news that's coming out and soon to come out. Like it's that good early year Nintendo fan feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I have written an article about this on NintendoReport.com through my industry sources. That I think that I've heard from reliable people that Majora's Mask 3D will be coming out in mid-February, and I think also the new 3DS will be coming out around that same time. Even before I heard that, it kind of like I figured that the new 3DS would be coming out in March in North America, and then when they did have the stuff where like, because I think Majora's Mask is still technically quote unquote May in Europe, or at least that's what it was at the Nintendo Direct that it was announced. So I kind of had this feeling that the new 3DS was going to come out alongside it in North America earlier in the year, and then come out a little later with the European new 3DS in May alongside Majora's Mask. But maybe that's coming out sooner too, because this ambassador thing kind of makes me think that like Europe's going to get it pretty soon, and so is North America.
Right, something has to come out alongside the new 3DS, and they can't wait until May in North America to put the new 3DS out. That would just be crazy on Nintendo's part.
Yeah,
so I mean, like, even if your sources were wrong, like just if they happen to be, this thing couldn't come out later than March.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I mentioned it in the article that you can read over at NintendoWorldReport.com. I mentioned it there, but as far as I'm like 99.9% confident that Majora's Mask is coming out in February. I'm a little less confident about the new 3DS coming out alongside that, but it's one of those things that like I saw enough buzz around it potentially coming out then that it kind of just makes sense. But there is a reason why that article is written as an editorial and not a rumor. That's because the new 3DS thing I'm a little shaky on.
Right, it's such a big old question mark. It could be like 3 weeks from now, or it could be like a month and a half or even 2 months from now.
Yeah, like I think it has to come out before the end of this quarter. For people who aren't all in the nitty-gritty of Nintendo sales, the end of March is the end of their fiscal year. It would kind of make sense that you would want to get that boost of a new handheld revision. You'd want to get that boost before the end of the fiscal year, because Nintendo's also in that precarious position where they haven't made any damn money in like 2 years, 3 years, something like that. And I think they could potentially make money this year, and having that boost in the new 3DS would kind of make it a slam dunk assurance that they're actually going to be in the green for once in the past couple of years.
Sure. Are you guys going to be picking up the new 3DS as fast as possible?
Yes.
Yeah, and see, I'm actually kind of two minds if the Majora's Mask and new 3DS are released at the same exact time. On one hand, I think you could see how maybe there'd be like a symbiotic relationship there, and so like that would move the new 3DS. Like you pick up the hardware to play this Zelda game that's being released. But I also think like, well, that's a lot of money to throw down all at once, and we're talking over $200 now. So it's like, would I just get Majora's Mask for now to play it now on my current 3DS and just get a new 3DS later when it's like something exclusive to the new 3DS? Or will I just get new 3DS because I love new hardware and just kind of skip out of Majora's Mask for now? I don't know.
I mean, I'm getting both.
But yeah,
I got
but you're like
my
Mr.
pre-order
Moneybags.
of that limited edition. No, I'm not Moneybags. Well, also, when you're the director of a Nintendo site, there's a chance that you get the new 3DS to review. So hopefully that'll happen. Because if not, then it'll be a hard push.
Exactly. See,
Like,
now you
hey,
get it.
you know this thing that I already have? I want to get another one.
Hey, Lauren.
I mean, Majora's Mask, I already got my pre-order for the limited edition, but we're going to talk about that later.
We will. But yeah, I think the thing that I'm actually most excited about for the new 3DS, since it sounds like it's like outside of its power increase, the screen isn't that much better. It is still pretty much a 3DS, but more powerful. And
I heard that the screen was way better.
It is way better, you hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Like, I
for
think
sure.
I remember our very own Addison Webb, who imported a Japanese one, talking about how like you can tell when you look at the screen that it looks better. And I know one of the big appeals to me is that it's going to run better too. Because right now, I mean, my wife's been playing Tomodachi Life like a fiend, and she's even like, when I hit the home menu, it takes freaking forever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guess what? That's why we need the new 3DS, because then it won't take forever. And that's
so
why I'm getting a
excited.
new 3DS.
For the for the right stick, the second circle pad, just
Right.
because
I'll
there
play
are so
Monster
many
Hunter.
exactly.
Full
Monster Hunter
stop.
4 now becomes a viable game now, and
Yeah.
like Resident Evil Revelations, one of the things that put me off from that game was the fact that I kind of had to deal with one circle pad for a Resident Evil game. Now I can re-download that game and probably beat it in time to play Resident Evil Revelations 2 on the 3DS's competing handheld, the Vita, when that comes out in spring. So
And
I'm very much looking forward to
Moon
it.
Chronicles is another game that'll benefit from the new 3DS, and I know that that Jules from Renegade Kid has been pretty public about the fact that he's going to add in new 3DS support as soon as he can for that game. And I mean, he already has Circle Pad Pro controls for it, so I imagine it couldn't be too difficult, maybe.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are going to start taking advantage of it, and hopefully even more if this picks up in the West,
Yeah.
which I'm not totally 100% sure about. I have no idea how this thing's going to be picked up, but hopefully if they sell it right, people will be interested. It'll at least go to people like us, so
Yeah,
it'll at least have some decent sales early on.
Would you guys be going for the big one, or the big one, or the little one?
Little one. I want the
I'm going
faceplates.
little one. Yeah, the
I'm so
faceplates
torn.
and the Super Famicom style buttons. I hope
Yeah.
that comes over.
I'm so torn because I have a hard time fathoming like going back to the small screens now, but yeah, there's so many like cosmetic perks to getting the small
Yeah.
version that I can't decide. And I guess it will be cheaper, so that will help the Majora's Mask situation as I
Well, yeah,
mentioned
instead of
earlier.
getting the XL, then you can get Majora's Mask.
And then just squint the whole fucking time I'm trying to play it. No,
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
God. You know, man, I played Ocarina of Time 3D on that old piece of shit, and I was fine.
Oh yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
I love that old piece of shit.
Although it is funny,
It's actually, yeah.
I have a bunch of friends that have the old 3DS, and I look at it, and I'm just like, fools. You don't even know.
Silly mortals.
Yeah. If only you
Yeah,
knew the
it's-
power of the XL.
Well, the problem with the power of the XL is that games look a lot worse on it than they do on the original 3DS. So the appeal of going to the new 3DS is that you'll have still a larger screen than the original 3DS,
Yeah.
but it'll be a much better system. So it'll be the superior experience, I'm convinced. It'll be sharper than the XL games. It'll be bigger screen than the regular 3DS games. It'll be a good time. Anywho, moving on to our next segment, this week's eShop new releases.
Yay!
Neal, tell me about Chariot for the Wii U eShop.
Chariot is the lone original interesting game that's coming out this week, as far as I can tell. It's by Freema Games. They're from Canada, French Canada, I believe. I will have a review up on the site probably tomorrow. It's a pretty neat physics-based platformer. The only thing that I knew about it going in was from seeing a snippet of it in an E3 2014 sizzle reel for indie games. And then I was like, hey, this game looks pretty cool. because it looks like you're carrying around some sort of king on wheels, and you're going around a world.
Damn,
And
that
that's
does
what
sound pretty fucking cool.
yeah. But yeah, so the way it works is that like the game starts and it's like you're this princess and you can play with another player who plays the princess's fiance, and you're watching as the king who had recently died. Like it's like a funeral for him, but then the king's ghost shows up and it's just like, man, this sucks. Like I need to be buried in style. So then the rest of the game is you dragging the king's coffin, which is on wheels. It's a chariot, if you will. You're dragging his dead ass body around to different locations to collect treasure and find the perfect resting place for him. But it's kind of funny because I mean he complains constantly, and as you get to the end of each world, there's 5 of them in total with I think 25 levels. He'll be like you'll get to a resting place and it'll start to do like the music like, oh, he's gonna go to the afterlife, and then he's just like, no, this is too dusty, and then you have to go to the next world. It has like a really nice art design. It's kind of like a cartoony style. And a lot of the puzzles are really fun because the way that you move, you have to kind of move around in a unique way. It almost reminded me of Bionic Commando a little bit, in that, well, at least in this one, like you do jump, but you need to keep on bringing this coffin around with you. So just moving over a regular hill is a little more challenging because you need to take your rope and attach it to one side of the chariot and then drag the chariot with you. And you use that in a lot of ways to get around the environment, like using him as a platform, using him as a ride, and just trying to figure out how to get to different collectibles and treasure throughout each of the levels. And the levels are very dense. There's branching paths. There's hidden exits. I kind of went in with like, okay, this concept looks cool and the art style's nice. And at the end of it, I kind of came away being like, hey, this is a really fun platformer. And the one thing that I haven't really touched on is co-op. Scott, this seems like a game that you should get for you and your wife.
Yeah, I was thinking as soon as you mentioned the co-op.
Spectacular co-op game.
Really?
It's the kind of co-op game where it doesn't necessarily get easier with a second player, although there are certain puzzles that you can only get to with another person. They're marked. There's like a little sign that'll have like 2 people on it. And then you're like, well, I can't do this now. But it doesn't necessarily make it easier, but it makes it more fun. There's also a high five button, which is spectacular. But because you each have your rope, and like the king has 2 sides that the rope can attach to, so then you're basically trying to drag him around and solve these different puzzles while working together, and it just kind of devolves into a lot of bickering, and like, no, take him over here. And I think the co-op is really fun. It's local only, though, for people hoping to play online. But it's a really, really fun co-op game, and a pretty fun single-player game, too.
Also this week on the Virtual Console for 3DS is Adventures of Lolo. I've never played that.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
an Iwata joint, man.
Center CX. It is.
Yeah. It was actually, oddly enough, wasn't published by Nintendo. It was actually
was
published
this before he started working for him?
Well, I think I forget that my HAL laboratory history is a little rusty right now. But because I know that they started out, and like I know that Iwata, like he worked on Balloon Fight, and that was a Nintendo joint. And then I think like HAL Lab kind of came around then, and they did work with Nintendo, but they also had their own like North American publishing wing that published Lolo, Vegas Dream, stuff like that. And I think it was around when Kirby came out on the Game Boy that's when HAL became more affiliated with Nintendo. And I think that's basically when the succession plan for Yamachi happened, because Nintendo came in and helped HAL with Kirby, and part of the deal was that Iwata would come work at Nintendo, and then he became the president. But I mean, Lolo's it's like a really awesome block pushing game. Which I mean, it might be a little dated because it is a pretty, it's a 25-year-old game, 27-year-old game. But I actually played it on Wii U recently because it came out on Virtual Console there, I think, like last summer. And I bought it on Wii, so it only was $1 to upgrade. And I had a lot of fun revisiting it, and I played it through when I got it on Wii, and I played through it again on Wii U, and it's just a really fun puzzle game that has really repetitive music, but I really enjoy that game. I've never played the third one. The third one I don't think it's come to Virtual Console at all yet.
Okay. Did that come out in North America? Is this one of those series that all of them came out in America?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that I've never played it before, but I think it came out in America.
Okay.
And then the series
other
kind of died after that, sadly.
So they never did an attempt at like a revival.
I mean, maybe
that
that's
series
what
at all?
Sakurai will do next.
He could make it work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's a story. Is that so? You play Lolo, and his love Lala gets kidnapped by King Edgar.
That's it.
Yeah. That's the story.
Excellent. And also on Virtual Console this week, Mega Man Battle Network 2 on the Wii U Game Boy Advance. It's a Game Boy Advance game. It's one of those Mega Man games that's not exactly a Mega Man game, but
It's
a
an
lot of
RPG.
people liked it anyways.
Yeah, I know that people have a lot of fond memories of the Battle Network games. I reviewed a Mega Man Star Force game, which is probably one of my favorite earliest reviews that I wrote for NWR. That game is a trip, and I hope that comes out to the DS Virtual Console at some point, because I would love to talk about that game again.
Excellent. And then also
Battle Network is fun. I would recommend it if you're a fan of RPGs, obviously. But the combat is fun. It's like a grid-based system, and you move Mega Man around. You have to use he gets like cards to use special powers, and you only have so many. Chips. I'm sorry, chips. Of course, because it's all based in like.
Yeah, it's like a very like 2000 view of what the internet was.
Very much so, yeah. But
I think this game originally came out in 2002.
Yeah. But no, it's fun. I can't remember. For some reason, I'm thinking 2 was the best one because they made like 10 of them. But I might be wrong.
I think 2 was the last one that was just a solo release, because I know that the later ones were released like Pokemon games.
Yes, where they were 2 different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're right.
Because I think there might have been 4 Battle Network games, and then there was the GameCube one, and then there were like 3 Star Force games on DS.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So there you go. All right, move on, Alex.
There you go. Also new this week, Maze on the Nintendo eShop for Wii U.
That's made by the dude who made the letter.
No.
That's his follow-up? That's the successor?
Yeah, Maze. You want to know what Maze is? It's a first-person exploration game. You collect coins in a first-person view. You can play it with a friend locally.
Nope. Not interested.
Have you played it? Do we have a code for that?
No, I think Don. So check out Nintendon's YouTube page. I believe that he has some hot Maze action. Like, I hate disparaging people, but like, did y'all see the letter?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm sure he did his best.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's not the guy from Meme Run.
I was just gonna say that.
The dude, I think it's Treefall Studios. At least like that guy seems to have some humility. Like, it seems like there might be some sort of effort from this guy to make a better game. I don't know if Maze is that game, and it might take a long time for him to make a better game. I don't know. But, like, I mean, he tried. At least he's not like the dude from Meme Run who's just like, fuck you.
So fucking cocky. And then, like,
yeah, I mean, it's like a 20-year-old kid who's just throwing the double middle fingers to everybody.
And then I can appreciate that as much as the next guy. But
he also thinks he's going to make thousands of dollars, which I think is a gross overestimation.
You go to the Meme Run Meverse page, and it reminds you of the worst of game facts, all compiled into one single scroll down menu.
I gotta check out this Meverse page.
It's embarrassing. It's a little embarrassing. But also out this week, Wipeout 3, eShop Wii U.
That's a Wii U launch game.
That's a launch game. That's Wipeout 3. That's the follow-up to Wipeout 1 and 2.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, this is based off that ABC TV show that has been on hiatus since last September.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that is a Wii U launch game that is coming to the eShop for the first time.
And then we also got Best of Solitaire, eShop 3DS. we got Painting Workshop eShop 3DS.
That's I heard good things about. I think it was Comic Workshop, which was made by the same people. People seem to like that. That's not necessarily my bag, although I thought Colors 3D was pretty boss. Yeah, I mean, Painting Workshop. It's made by the people who made Comic Workshop.
And that is supposed to be good.
Yeah, I've heard good things, but maybe they're for the wrong people.
Okay, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hit eShop.
Scott, why don't you tell us about that, Mr. IGN reviewer? Did we lose Scott?
It's maybe Scott's too embarrassed to tell us.
Wait, I'll bring up
Scott, don't you die on me!
Scott, come back! All right.
Is this gonna just turn into a two? We'll still make it happen. I mean, we did this live for a reason.
The adaptation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles packs the action necessary to wrangle in a younger audience, while also being witty and well-written enough for older fans who enjoyed the Turtles almost 30 years ago. Unfortunately, Nickelodeon's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the 3DS manages to get repetitive, despite being a very short experience.
And Scott, what score did you give that game?
Is he back?
He's back. He's at least coming back. I hope your
Scott
son
said that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on 3DS is a decent game for kids, but only if they don't know any better. He gave it a 5.0 out of 10, which is mediocre, according to IGN's scale. Apparently there's a good upgrade system, but there's no multiplayer and it's short.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Scott, are you with us? Scott!
I mean, I see him there, but...
I see Scott. You know what? We're going to keep doing the show, and if Scott chooses to speak up at any point and be polite, we'll keep the show moving. All right, we got... Okay, Scott. All right, moving on. We got sales on the eShop for Wii U. We got Wooden Sensei Puddle and more fun games from Neko
Entertainment?
Neko Entertainment on sale until 8:59 a.m. PT on January 22nd.
Wait. I can do this. I reviewed Puddle for IGN now.
Yeah.
But Wooden Sensei, I played that before. It was a neat little platformer, like not amazing. And
right.
Puddle was similar to Fluidity, but not as good. So
okay.
If either of those sound remotely appealing, maybe the sale is for you.
Sure. Q-Men 2 is more than 30% off, reduced from $7.99 to $4.99 until 8:59 PT. That's AM PT on January 22nd. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you are curious about that game, we have a review up on the site from our own Andy Gergen, who I believe he enjoyed that game quite a bit. It's a game from our notebook friends at No, but apparently it's pretty cool.
Abyss 99 Moves and More from Enjoy Up Games are on sale until 8:59 a.m. PT January 29th. And then eShop 3DS, the biggest sale this week, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse is 25% off, reduced from $19.99 to $14.99 until 8:59
right now.
PT January 22nd. That sounds like a lot of money still.
What, for Shantae?
I guess discounts have spoiled me on other video game platforms, but like when I see a $5 off, I'm
I think that $15. I think that $20. I don't know. Like, it's really hard judging what the value of a game is anymore. Like, I spent $20 on Shantae, and I don't regret it at all. It's a really, really good game. I think that $15 is the price that I would see and not scoff at all for that game.
Okay.
If you want a really good Metroidvania, like, get on that. It's a really good game.
Okay. Yeah, and then I was super surprised to see Johnny. He was talking about the sale, and he's like, "Hey, this is by far Way Forward's best game," and that's coming from someone who, like me, isn't often the most keen on Way Forward.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
speak to it a little bit.
I have been more positive on Way Forward in the past, but this is by far the best thing they've ever made.
Okay, that makes me happy to hear. Maybe I'll check it out. 4 Elements, Mystery Case Files, Ravenheart, and more from Tulip Games are on sale until 8:59 PT April 2nd. And then Van Helsing Sniper ZX100 is more than 80% off, reduced from $6 66. Ah, that's sick. To 99 cents until 8:59 a.m. PT, January 29th.
So you want to know what I learned today? That game
What'd you learn?
exists.
Yeah, is that the same as the PC game that came out that people kind of like?
Sure. I have no idea. I did not know that game existed before today.
Okay. So yeah, that's 99 cents. So if you want to know what it is, if you have the free time to play a new video game that won't go into your backlog, Van Helsing, Sniper something something ZX something something, 99 cents. All right, moving on to the meat of the show. The rest of the news this week. I assume Scott is going to try one or two more times, and then, or this might just be a two-man show. We'll make it happen either way. For the news this week, our top, not top story is that Puzzle and Dragons Super Mario Bros. Edition got announced, like last night. That's coming out 4/29 in Japan. It has the same Puzzle and Dragons gameplay, which is like, it's a match 3 game, but at the same time there's RPG stuff going on the top screen. Like, I played that game on Android, and it seems really, really confident and addicting, but I only played it for a little while, so I don't fully remember. So it seems like it's...
Pokemon Battle Troze was similar to the Puzzle and Dragons formula, the 3DS eShop game.
Yeah. So it has a similar take on the match 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think this, like, I will play this game when it comes out.
Mm-hmm. It's retail and digital, so it seems sizable.
Yeah, I might even, unless we hear about something before April 29th, this might even be a game that I just buy on my Japanese 3DS. Like, I mean, I like puzzle games a lot, and you throw a Mario wrapper on a competent game, and I'm probably in.
Yeah, and the Mario wrapper that is on this game seems pretty cool. Like, it has the new Super Mario Bros. Level world map on it, which makes me think that there's a possibility that this is a linear game with 8 worlds that you can start and then beat, and then each level is a different challenge. So if there's a substantial single-player game there, and then they also put, like, the fun, addicting, like, Puzzles and Dragons, like, style dungeons on it, that would make a really justifiable $30 or $40 package. They probably put the price in that Japanese trailer, but I didn't happen to.
I think they did, but I didn't convert it.
Right.
I think it was. It might have been like if it came out here, it might wind up being like a $30 game or something.
Okay.
Or maybe 20.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. The 3DS pricing structure is super weird because, like, even though the Wii U is jumping into that $40 to $60 range, like 3DS games, it's a complete shot in the dark whether a game ends up being 30, 35, or 40 when it comes out.
Like, actually, I'm curious. Go on with what you're doing, but I think the Majora's Mask is only going to be $30.
Are you sure? Because the okay, well, we'll be talking about the bundle, but the bundle was $50. So I wonder if they would actually charge $20 for that Skull Kid statue. I have no idea how tall it is.
Keep on going. I'm checking it on my phone.
Yeah, sure.
Oh no, it's still listed as 40.
Okay. Yeah, I think they know that they can get away with $40.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a Zelda game.
Right, it's still a Zelda game, and it follows a game that a lot of people bought at $40. Granted, that was a near launch game, but I'm not surprised by that at all. So cool. And then also, more importantly and more notable for our territory, the North American Puzzle and Dragons Twitter said that is coming overseas, which presumably means North America or the United States at the very least.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, they said that, like, I think last night or this morning. Gung-ho, but I think it was from the official Puzzle and Dragons.
Okay. That's
but they
really
said that no further details until later. That's going to be on whatever Nintendo Direct or press release or whatever they end up doing in the next week or two. So there you go. Our next story, Devil's Third is almost done. The Wii U action game from former Tecmo developer Tomonobu Itagaki is almost done, according to the famed developer. However, it will be a little longer until the final release details are announced. He said that it looks like the Devil's Third for Wii U is about done. It's been 2 years spent on designs and 6 years of development, he said in a 4-gamer feature translated by Silicon Era. We've really kept all of you fans waiting, but for our first title since going independent, it wouldn't be fun if we released such a small game, so Devil's Third is the result of making something while going all out. I think this is going to be an eShop title released at $20.
What?
I got excited for my opinion that was coming after the quote. But he said, did you hear the quote?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of said on after that. but I think this is going to be an eShop title for $20. I think that's what they're
I
going to put this out
I
on.
don't think so.
You think they'll put it on a disc?
Yeah, because I mean, it seems like a very expansive game. I was working on my predictions for a feature coming to Nintendo will report. I think either later this week or early next. And I think that Devil's Third will kind of fall into like the Bayonetta 2 category, probably coming out in October. I think that it's going to be a full release because it seems like it's going to be a big, expansive, adventure with a big online multiplayer component. I mean, maybe there's a world where it's $40 instead of 60, or maybe 50 instead of 60. But I don't think this is going to be a eShop game only. I think it's way too big for that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's yeah, I guess thinking back to the Devil's Third preview that I think Aaron Brown did during E3,
Yes.
it seemed like it was a pretty sizable game.
Yeah.
But do
And
you
I
really
think
think
that-
this is going to hit October?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think that the earliest it'll come out is like August, but
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if it hits in October. Like that August to October window seems perfect for Devil's Third. Nintendo
Right.
is usually pretty similar in their patterns from year to year, and Devil's Third seems to fit into that that third party developer that they're publishing their title, like Platinum for the past 2 years with Wonderful 101 and Bayonetta.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. I think we'll probably see. It'll probably get as much love at E3 as Bayonetta 2 did this year. There will be a lot of playable booths for it. It'll have a part of their. Was Bayonetta 2 in their Nintendo digital event? I think it was. It might not have been.
Yes, it
don't
was.
remember.
I think it was because they made a big deal of the costumes, and they did announce that Bayonetta 1
Yeah.
was being included during that
Yep,
digital
yep.
event. I think.
Yeah, I think Devil's Third will show up at whatever they do at E3 and not be a huge focus, but like I said, as much as Bayonetta 2 was last year.
Right, and even though they're saying that it's almost done, I'm guessing this probably wasn't like localized at the same pace Bayonetta was. Even if this thing is ready to ship in April, there would still probably be at least 3 or 4 months before it would be localized for North America, I think.
Yeah, because I think
Mhm.
as far as I've heard, I think that Devil's Third wasn't something that was in the I don't know how long Nintendo's been attached to it, but I don't think it's been like more than a year.
Okay.
So I think that might also be part of it. Whereas Bayonetta 2, pretty much that game was developed with Nintendo, whereas Devil's Third already had work done at it at THQ. Before then it was, independent.
Right. It's that game either seems like it's going to be amazing or a disaster.
Yeah,
Scott, what do you
totally
think?
agree.
I have no idea. I just got back. I don't know what's going on. Can you
Devil's
guys hear
Third.
me okay?
Devil's Third.
Okay.
We're talking about.
I have no opinion of it.
It's not a game that I'm terribly interested in. I kind of enjoyed the other Ninja Gaiden games that Itagaki worked on, but I'm not really craving another one of those games. And Devil's Third, from what I saw that they showed at E3 last year, I'm not too interested.
Yeah.
Our next story. Tingle was almost playable in Hyrule Warriors.
Eiji
said
Aonuma is dead to me.
Koei Tecmo producer Yosuke Hayashi in an interview with Techno Bubble. He said, actually, Tingle was a character that was kind of considered and sort of went back and forth on. We really wanted to include him, but Mr. Aonuma suggested it might be good to include some other character, as in some fucking bug lady from some... You know what? Fuck the character selection in that game. I wanted Groose.
Well, I guess we still have 2 more characters. One of which I think will be Skull Kid. 110%.
Oh,
I think
for
it
sure.
will be Skull Kid.
Yeah.
It has to be.
The other one should be Tingle, but with this news, I don't even know what to believe anymore. I made the comment before Hyrule Warriors character list was known that this game is bullshit unless Tingle's in it, because Hyrule Warriors is a game made for Tingle, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
He deserves
what
to be
more
in it.
fan servicey character really exists than Tingle?
Does Does that bug lady have her own game? No. Tingle's got 3 games.
He has 3, not just 2?
Well, he's got Tingle Balloon Fight, and then he has like the 2 RPG things.
Wow.
I think there were 2 RPG things.
I mean,
Yeah,
not to
I
mention
know
just
there
like
was
his cult following.
Like,
I feel
it
like
was
he's
funny
like he,
because
to
I'll
me,
be completely
to me,
honest. I've always thought that Tingle's super dumb, and then I thought about the possibility of him being a playable character in Hyrule Warriors, and I'm like the #1 Tingle supporter now. Because how dumb would that character be in that game?
I feel like he's the Tommy Wiseau of the Zelda universe.
Yeah. Like,
That's
he
how
was
I feel.
supposed to be really serious, making a drama and everything. And then he called some guy at the AV Club a dick.
Yeah, that did just happen.
Yeah. Topical. News.
Hey, to get
That's
back to where
news.
we were before everything crashed for me, that Ninja Turtles game sucks. Okay, move
Yeah,
on.
no, I mean,
Excellent.
we read your review. That's all we did since you were gone.
The whole thing.
Silently.
Yep.
So the one thing I want to know is, when is Hyrule Warriors going to hit $20 on Amazon? Because I
You
look
haven't
at the
bought it?
price for that game every few weeks, and I really want to buy it at $20, like I bought for Zombie U and Wonderful 101, because that's about how much I want that game.
Yeah, man, like,
And
Hyrule
it still
Warriors is
hasn't
the
hit.
closet best game of 2014. Like,
But Bayonetta is like, that's the game I'm prioritizing at almost full price.
okay.
Like
Nah,
that
I
needs
can see
to hit like $50 to $40 before I hit that. But
Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors, I don't know if I'm necessarily
I-
feeling that so much.
Like, okay, Smash Brothers was amazing, but I kind of knew that was going to be amazing. Hyrule Warriors, I really thought was going to turn out to be awful, but I still really wanted to play it, and it kind of blew me away. I had so much fun with that game, and I'm still waiting for the moment when I'm craving a little bit more, and then I plunk down the money on the DLC. Because the DLC adds probably double the game, if not more. And that game that game was not lacking content at all.
How many hours do you think you've cranked into that?
I put about 30 hours into that game.
Wow, that is actually substantial.
Yeah, and
That-
I left a lot of game on the table. Like, I did not finish the 8-bit map in the adventure mode. I did a lot of it, but I did not finish that. I had a lot of fun with co-op too.
Word. Our final story tonight: the Majora's Mask 3D Limited Edition bundle. It is for North America, $49.99. Comes with a Skull Kid figurine in a nice box. Releases the same day as the 3D remake, whenever that is. Sold out at GameStop and Amazon within 30 minutes of being put up for pre-order yesterday. Like yesterday morning, they were put up for pre-order. Sold out within 30 minutes on both GameStop and Amazon.
Okay. Let's back this shit up.
Okay.
So what? It was announced on Tuesday. Yeah,
Tuesday.
Got announced on Tuesday, and then the online pre-orders went up on, I think, Amazon and GameStop first, and they sold out within 15 minutes.
It was 15,
Tuesday,
not even 30.
yeah, I think it might maybe one of them is 15, one of them is 30. I mean, at that point, they sold out really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into a GameStop that day to be like, hey, can I pre-order it in store? And they said, no, you can't do it until tomorrow. So what I ended up doing was I actually pre-ordered the regular version because I was told that I could call in the morning and then just upgrade my regular one to the special edition. So when I called in the morning, they said that I would have to come in store and then order it online through the GameStop, and then they would ship it to me when it came out instead of having it go into the store. I work far away from where I live. So I was like, I guess I'll stop by after work and see if I can still do that. When I came back, I could not do that. However, I heard from a number of people on Twitter who actually did do that, where they do go into the store and talk to the person at the counter and then put in their information so that way they could ship it directly to their house instead of, okay.
Yeah.
And so GameStop pre-orders were pretty much like a limited disaster. And I don't think it's GameStop's to blame. I think it's the fact that they didn't have a lot of pre-orders to go around. I ended up pre-ordering it on Best Buy because that pre-order went up last night.
Today.
No,
well, no, last night at like 9 o'clock Eastern time, and then
okay.
sold out within 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think Fry's
yeah.
went up today or something.
Okay. I did think it was funny though, where after everyone's complaining about GameStop and Amazon selling out, Nintendo was advertising on Twitter telling people to pre-order it after it already sold out everywhere.
Yeah, that's when you need to look at your social media like posting plan and be like, oh, this one's kind of mean.
Yeah.
That was like they had the GameCube controller adapter was actually in store at Nintendo's online or in stock at Nintendo's online store today, and I saw a bunch of people like from Nintendo and I think Nintendo's official account tweeted it out, and then I just see people replying to those people being like, "It's already sold out." It's just I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the collector's market for this Majora's Mask already exists for the limited edition. It is going for over $100 with bids, pre-orders for this limited edition bundle.
Wow.
Well,
And,
I got
like,
something
I
to
think
list
the
on
highest
eBay,
one I saw was
everybody.
like 150. I saw bids going for 150 today. So I
That's
actually
insane.
might really do that because I don't know why I pre-ordered the special edition other than to get the cool version everyone was excited about. Because I don't care about the
Wait, so
Skull Kid figurine.
where did you pre-order it?
I pre-ordered it at Best Buy because I knew it was going to sell out within 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's. I
Yeah.
mean,
So,
I got someone, Justin Baruby texted me, and then I was just like, well, may as well do this, and just went on my phone, pre-ordered it at Best Buy, and was done.
but yeah, like I want the game. I want the game a lot. Like it's probably like for the first quarter one of my most excited games. But I have no idea why I picked up the limited edition
Yeah, like
for hype.
I don't really have a lot of attachment to Majora's Mask. Like Skull Kid's a cool character, I guess. Like I was one of those people that was like, he should be playable in Smash. Like I just kind of was like, I don't know, it's a collector's edition. I'm into this amiibo garbage. Maybe I should just get everything now.
Now I'll get an amiibo that has no use.
Yeah.
I mean, which I guess is pretty much an amiibo right now anyway.
Hey,
Oh!
I have fun with them.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, like, so there's obviously a lot of demand for these things, and I'm wondering if Nintendo sort of underestimated that, and is that a good problem to have? Probably, because I think it's easier to fix than if there was no demand for these things.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
they're not fixing
you-
it because clearly
Sure,
with the damn
sure.
amiibo,
Sure, okay, they're not
people
fixing
want
it.
plastic shit from Nintendo.
Right, and maybe they're not fixing it as much right now or as quickly as we'd like. But again, it's an easy problem to fix. You just produce more. If these things weren't moving at all, if Amiibo were just on shelves and like just all over the place, that would be a problem. That would be very upsetting. I'd rather have a shortage than like, oh god, these Amiibo, like no one is interested in these. Like you go to Target and there's like just a whole aisle full of these things just lying on the ground because there's nowhere to put them. Like that would be bad. So you know, I guess it's just one way to look at it. But yeah, sorry for any collector who's like dying to get that Skull Kid figure and now won't be able to. But I don't know.
So here's a little tinfoil hat theory. What if the unannounced new 3DS feature is Amiibo support for Majora's Mask 3D, and
With
the Skull
Skull
Kid figurine is actually an Amiibo?
That would be the worst thing ever. Because when I was talking to people on Twitter about this, when we kind of had our support group over how like we were trying to pre-order this, we couldn't. But someone made the comment that like with this and Amiibo, like Nintendo's taken years off my life, and my response to that is like the one thing with the Skull Kid thing is that it's purely a bonus, and that's kind of like I was at a point like I wouldn't have been crestfallen if I missed out on this limited edition. I'm glad that I got it, but it was the kind of thing that it's like it's not like I'm missing something from the game because I don't have the cool Skull Kid figure. Like that's the one thing that bugs me so much about Amiibo is that. You know, we can debate that the Smash Brothers use isn't the best, but like you're missing out on potential content and actual content for a number of games coming out in the near future or that are already out, like Mario Kart and Hyrule Warriors. So there's stuff from games that people are missing out on because of the Amiibo not being there. With Skull Kid, it's just a bonus.
But if you weren't able to get a hold of the limited edition, and you won't get a hold of it, don't worry, because unless you're a collector, you're never going to use the shit that's in the limited edition. You're never going to use that Skull Kid figurine, probably, because in my case, I just pulled this off my bureau, and it is the Club Nintendo Mario figurine from 2 years ago, covered with dust, covered in this huge-ass rubber band that I don't know where it came from. And the thing that just fell off was a Chris Redfield figurine that is right here from the Resident Evil 5 limited edition, whose arms and legs broke off because it's a piece of shit. And I got the Resistance 2 Collector's Edition up there. I got all kinds of shit up there, all kinds of Club Nintendo rewards, all these depressed-looking boxes. And when I get the Majora's Mask and I get Bloodborne when that limited edition comes out in March, all that shit's going to go up there too. And I feel so bad for the collector who I'm going to be making super depressed as a result of this.
You want to know what I have? I have a box that's currently in my attic that just has all of the random stuff that I've gotten from Collector's Edition or swag from events. They're just sitting up there for, like, if we get a PAX East panel, then I'm just going to bring that box with me and just dump it on some unsuspecting person.
And that's
However, I will keep the Star Fox 64 3D scarf because Star Fox 64 3D scarf is pretty cool. It's had practical use in my life.
Swag is such an instant gratification kind of thing, because when I get all this stuff at PAX East, it's super exciting. Like, I have all these new game shirts and all this stuff to care about, and when I open up a collector's edition for the box for the first time, I'm super excited about that stuff, until the moment I put it on my bed and realize that I will never look at this stuff ever again. What's that?
Sorry, that was my stupid phone.
Oh, okay, I thought you were playing some related music.
No, I wish. No, my phone's on silent. I don't know why I did that. My bad.
That's mad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that signals the end of our show.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching this.
I have that Club Nintendo, the Mario thing. That's on my desk at work. I love that damn thing.
It's super well made, actually.
It goes with
years later.
Yeah, I mean, it goes with me to every job that I have and sits on my desk. It's got a use, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But anyways, that is our show. Thank you for watching this installment of Nintendo News Report, and be sure to tell us everything you liked or disliked in the comments, because we want to give you the best show possible. And I would like to add that specifically regarding the format, let's say you want to just hear, okay, tell me about the 2 biggest eShop releases this week, or the 2 biggest releases this week, and fuck everything else. Or you might just say, hey, give me the pure news. I don't even want the digital releases of any kind. Or you could say, hey, bring back a feature topic. I want you guys to discuss this other stuff. Tell us, what you think about the structure of the show and how you would improve that, because that's what I'm personally very interested in. I would like to thank Neal and Scott for joining me. Neal can be found on Twitter at Enron, the number 10, N-R-O-N, number 10. And Scott at OK Soda, OK, the word soda. And I can be found at CULAFIA, Kulafia. That'll be all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.